Hello there, welcome along to this mixed martial arts preview for Sky Sports, looking ahead to the return of Bellator Saturday morning, 3 a.m. on Sky Sports. First fights in months, coming to you live from the Mohegan Sun Resort Casino in Connecticut in the USA. Very pleased to say that part of the on-screen talent that night, former UFC referee turned Bellator analyst, is going to be getting into the cage post-fight to conduct interviews as well. He's driven all the way from Tennessee up to Connecticut, been a long haul. It's Big John McCarthy. How are you? How was the drive? I heard about it on your podcast that you were planning from Tennessee up to Connecticut.
It was long. There's a lot more traffic and a lot more trucks than I ever thought, but it was all right. I made it.
Oh, good man, good man. And how's quarantine? How are you finding it at the Mohegan Sun Resort?
I am bored out of my mind. It's horrible.
Well, you were saying before, to be fair, before we started recording, that it's good prep time for you. You're doing your research. Talking about the main event, obviously, I guess, first of all, how excited are you to be at an event?
It's awesome. It's been so long. It's like, it's different because we're not doing the same things because of the quarantines and things like that. But it's really good to be at the event. It's good to see the fighters. It's good to talk with people for a second at least. And I can't wait till the show.
Yeah, good man. I know you're going to be in the cage after the fights as well. Are you expecting an explosive main event? What do you see? Ricky Bandejas against obviously Sergio Pettis. Do you expect this to be high drama?
I expect it to be a really good fight. Yeah, people keep on putting Ricky Bandejas in a level that is below where he's actually at. He came into Bellator. They brought him in almost as a stepping stone for James Gallagher, and he quickly said, "You made a mistake." And that, had a beautiful one-round finish of Gallagher. Had that beautiful side kick to the face and finished him off and knocked him out. Then he had a great fight against Archuleta. He had one fight where he made a mistake, and that was against Pat Mix. Got caught in a rear naked choke. But other than that, his last fight against Malambo in Ireland. I mean, the way he knocked him out, because he was having some problems and he had some illnesses, I know, going into the fight. But the way he knocked him out, he's got power in his hands. He's done it here in Bellator a couple of times. He's got 3 big knockouts here, and he's got power in his hands. So Pettis needs to be careful. Pettis is a different style fighter, very technically good. He has just little tiny head movements inside. When you're throwing at him, he slips and he responds. So Ricky Bandejas has got to be careful when he decides to go. He needs to be careful. There's going to be something coming back his way. Yeah,
do you think Pettis is, I guess, more of a stylist's kind of choice, more of a technical fighter? But is Bandejas, has he got that unpredictability perhaps in the way that he shoots and fires? The way that he strikes.
Yeah, he does. A lot of it is where his shots come from, the way he throws them. He is very long. For 135 pounds, you're going to see he's going to look huge compared to Pettis as far as height. He's very tall. He's very rangy, and he's got power. People look at guys that are skinny and they think, oh, he's not strong. He's strong. He's got power. He's got snap. Pettis has snap too. Pettis has got, I think, a better overall grappling game now. He's got a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's very polished in everything that he does, and that's what makes him special.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's got that legacy of the name Pettis as well with his brother Anthony. How do you see that? Is that an interesting dynamic, isn't it? Because it can be an inspiration, but it can sometimes be a weight on a fighter to have those family connections.
It can. There's expectations. You carry the name of someone that was a world champion and your brother, and people expect the same things out of you, and sometimes they expect them before you're ready to show them exactly who you are. And you take a look at Sergio Pettis is only 26 years of age right now. He's had a lot of fights. He's had over, close to 25 fights. And I think this will be his 25th fight. And at the age of 26, he's got a lot left in him, and he's only improving. So he's going to show everyone exactly. I may be the younger brother, but he doesn't hold anything on me.
Do you imagine this is Pettis' chance to really cement himself at 135 pounds?
Absolutely. If Pettis comes in and he gets a win over Bandejas, he's at the top of the list. You got Paige Mix, Juan Archuleta. And you got to put Sergio Pettis right there at the top of the mix for that bantamweight title, which has been vacated by Horiguchi when he got injured. So this win right here puts him right where he wants to be.
Yeah, you think it's straight, as simple as that? Whoever wins this fight will get a title bout. Yeah.
Yeah, I think whoever gets this fight puts themselves in a position where they have the ability to say, "Hey, I deserve that. Look at what I've done here, and look at my last win against a stud fighter. Either way, they should have that right."
We're looking forward to that main event in particular massively. Scott Coker was talking to us yesterday, which was really interesting. I think he's long been a fan of Aaron Pico, and he's looking forward to seeing him. What on the undercard are you particularly interested in?
The Aaron Pico fight it's a good fight. The guy he's fighting, people they don't know him. I love him. He's a great guy. Solo Hatley Jr. He's got the best hair in MMA because he looks like the old video game with the long ponytail. But he is so fast. I am telling you. Look at his first fight in Bellator was against Gaston Bolanos. And Bolanos is a world champion in kickboxing. He is just incredible on his feet. And for the most part, sometimes Solo took him down, which was really smart, but he stood with him on his feet. He's got speed, and speed is always hard to deal with. The real question here is, which Aaron Pico do we see? Do we see the guy that was one-dimensional, that liked to come in with heavy hands and try to stand and knock people out? Because he's got that power. He generates an incredible amount of speed and power with his fist, but he needs to be the complete MMA fighter, and I think that's what he's been learning at Jackson Winklejohn's, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I think they've always come with a great game plan, and if he implements all of the things that he's capable of doing, he's a handful for anybody.
Great stuff. What do you make of the co-main event, Jason Jackson against Jordan Mien? What's your take on that? I
love that fight. That's one of my favorite fights because I know both guys so well. I have been watching Jordan Mien fight since he was a child. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I think the first time I saw him compete, he was 12 years old. His first professional fight, he was 16 years old, and he fought Rory McDonald. All right? He is just an incredible fighter. I saw him, go from bantamweight to featherweight to lightweight. He just kept getting bigger and bigger, and fighting at welterweight. He's a stud, and he's good everywhere. His stand-up is crisp. He's really good on the ground. He doesn't hold any, ranks in jiu-jitsu, but I will tell you, I've rolled with him. He's a stud on the ground. He's got really good wrestling, and his opponent matches up so well with him in Jason Jackson. Jason's got super long and fast range in the stand-up game. He's got power. I honestly think this fight's going to be fight of the night. I think these guys are going to stand almost towards the middle of the cage, and someone is going to get knocked out. It's just the way they both throw. Watch the elbows inside from Jordan Mien. If they get into that phone booth area, like they're both standing with a foot in a tire, look out for the elbows. He is slick with them.
Good. We'll look forward to that. You've whet my appetite, definitely. What have the fighters said to you? You said you had a couple of words to them in passing. I don't know if you've done the interviews. Do they feel comfortable? Are they relaxed? What do you expect when they get into the cage?
Yeah, everybody here seems really relaxed, at ease, having, just, hey, they're just happy to be back doing what they love to do. And so, it's good to be part of that. But I haven't seen anyone where they've looked really uncomfortable. It's kind of funny. We all look like a bunch of bandits going around with masks on and stuff. So,
yeah. I just wonder, because some fighters, I guess, like their routine to be exact. Obviously, this is a new situation. Do you think that adds a little ingredient of uncertainty to how things will go?
I'm sure it does. There's going to be guys that are not used to fighting. They've been fighting in Bellator here for a while now. You got guys like Taiwan Claxton, who's got a very good matchup. And he's going to be a guy that he started in Bellator. He's used to the big lights. He responds to the big lights. He likes the crowds. He uses that as an energy, and it's not going to be there for him. So he's going to have to be, just in that mindset of, hey, I'm here just to do what I do. I don't need all of that other stuff, and I'm going to put on a show for the TVs, not for the crowd. And so it's a different aspect that the guys have got to work through.
It certainly is. Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to watch it unfold. 3 a.m. on Sky Sports Saturday morning here in the UK. Give us a prediction actually for Bandejas Pettis before we move on to other matters. What's your gut saying? What's your mind saying?
My gut tells me Sergio Pettis has the advantage in the fight. He is so technically good. And it's the inside-outside movement that he does. You'll watch him with his feet, how he slides his feet in. He lands 2 to 3 shots, and you see him circling out, not being hit. If Ricky allows that to happen, he's going to have a long night. If Ricky, in my opinion, pressures Sergio, makes him uncomfortable, kind of pushes him towards that cage, and uses his length where Pettis doesn't have the ability to move out in any direction other than left, right, and you set him up to go towards your power, Bandejas can have a good night.
I wanted to get your thoughts as well. I know you've spoken about it previously, but Paige VanZant, and getting a sense of what you said previously with her comments around Dana White saying that they thought they were closer friends after his comments following her defeat. You just, I guess, kind of say that in America, you obviously value freedom of speech, but when you're working for a private organization, you do have to be a little bit careful and respectful to the boss.
Yeah, I mean, Paige is she's a good fighter. Okay, a lot of people demean her, and I do not know why, because she's tough. I've watched Paige for the last since she was in Invicta. I was at I think one of her first fights, and she showed me there, man. She's tough. She does not give in. She's very good in the grappling game. Yeah, she got armbarred by Amanda Ribas in her last fight, but that can happen. She got caught in position. She tried to get herself out. When she did, her arm got stuck inside with the glove. It's hard to get your arm out. It happens, but she is a young person overall. And when you look at the whole fight game, and I thought me and Dana were friends. Well, Dana's your boss, okay, and Dana's going to do things to promote you, and then he's going to do things to denounce you based upon, are you in his stable or are you not? And her getting hurt by that, that's just part of learning how to get thicker skin and say, that has no effect on me. I understand it. Don't worry about it. Just move on.
Yeah, we didn't talk with Scott Coker about it, but I know he said he'd be welcome to have a conversation with Paige VanZant. Could you see her being a big addition to Bellator?
You got to look and say, well, her husband, Austin Vanderford, is part of the Bellator roster. He's a great fighter. He's undefeated right now. It's almost like, yeah, I could see her coming over here. Obviously they're only going to pay her, what they believe she's worth in value as far as what she's going to bring to the promotion. And if those numbers match up, then she'll be here. If not, there's other places for her to go. But like I said, she's a good fighter. She's got a lot of talent, and she's only getting better. You look at her losses, I did her fight against Michelle Watterson. I did a fight where she won, early on in her career in the UFC. She's good. She's got a high output. She doesn't get tired. She is always working to just wear her opponent out. She's got a very similar style to a lot of guys that have done very well in MMA. She just needs a little bit more seasoning, a little bit more tuning. She's young, and she's only going to get better.
Yeah, do you feel there's sometimes a little bit of cynicism or unfair criticism because she's perceived as having that celebrity background? She's got the big Instagram following. I understand she was on Dancing with the Stars in the States as well. Do you think there's sometimes a little bit of envy maybe, and people disrespect her fighting quality because of that?
Absolutely. People are mean. Let's just be honest, okay? They look at someone that has worked hard, which Paige has worked hard. They've gotten themselves to a certain point, and you can sit there and say, well, a lot, what I hear is the critics is she didn't get those opportunities because she's a great fighter. So what? She got the opportunity. Would you take it if someone offered it to you? So she's supposed to say no. So you're happy that she, didn't take an opportunity because she wasn't the best fighter out there. The best fighters sometimes don't get, the offers that other fighters do. And that's just the way life is. But I see nothing wrong with Paige taking every opportunity that's thrown her way. That's what a smart businesswoman does, and she's been very smart with running her, as I call her brand, being the fighter, Paige VanZant. She's done a good job so far. No one can take that away from her. And if you're trying to, you're just a hater.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. In combat sports, you definitely need that attention, don't you? It's attention economy, they call it now. So if you can bring views and that kind of stuff, it's always a positive to add to your fighting skills as well. And now I understand you're getting into the cage after the fights, but it's going to be a little bit different. What do you tell us what we're going to see? Because you're going to be a minimum of 6 feet away, aren't you, from the fighters? Are you projecting your voice? How are you going to handle that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm used to grab a hole, pull them near me, and talk to them, and like, hey, how you doing over there? You know, so it's going to be a little bit different for me, but we'll figure it out. This whole thing is going to be something new. It's different, but yeah, just roll with the punches. It's just keep on, figuring out ways to make it work, and that's what we do.
Okay, great seeing you in action. It's going to be 3 a.m. I believe on Sky Sports. The
I'm sorry, it's so early in the morning.
Coffee. Well, main event might be nearer 5, so if you've got small children, you might be up anyway. So.
There you go.
But John, appreciate your time. Best of luck. Enjoy it, and we will speak to you again soon.
Thank you, brother. You take care.
Take care, man. Thank you. Okay, there we have it. Fantastic for Big John. Give us that time, although he is obviously in quarantine. Looking forward to watching him in action and the fighters in action. Sergio Pettis against Ricky Bandejas. That huge main event coming up on Sky Sports in the UK, Saturday, 3 a.m. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching this preview, and we'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.